Hi, this is Andrew from Andrew's Gammill Northwest, and this video is about how to rotate your hopping foot in order to get the needle centered in the middle of the hopping foot, or how to slightly bend the hopping foot if it is bent and unable to be centered. The first possibility is that perhaps the foot is a little bit to the right or a little bit to the left of the needle. If that's the case, you just need to rotate the hopping foot a little bit. For this, I'm going to use an adjustable wrench. If you happen to have a wrench that's exactly the right size, you can use that also. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the wrench on this little silver nut here, and I'm going to just crack it loose. Oh, wrong way. This way. And that'll allow me to spin the foot right or left a little bit. Now, you may need to play with the nut a little bit in order to get it in the right place. And so I'm going to get it right where I want it, where it's centered. And when you're happy with this alignment, hold the foot in place and tighten the nut. And so to tighten the nut is going to be to take the wrench and to go that way with it to tighten the nut. Just like that. So one thing that also happens sometimes is that it's not a right or left thing, but it's that the needle's too close to the front of the foot or too close to the back. And for that, your hopping foot may actually be bent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the needle, like so. I'm going to use a very small wrench that has a closed end, and the wrench that I used before to remove the foot. So first I'm going to take the foot off. You see the direction that it turns. Now I'm going to take the little nut off the top of the foot. And then I'm going to put my wrench right over the foot itself. And in this case, I'm going to show you how you would do it if you were going to bend the hopping foot so that the needle was closer to the front. So first you want to, with the wrench wrapped around the foot, you want to go ahead and screw it back in. You'll see the reason for the wrench in a second. Get it threaded all the way up in there. Now, I can use this wrench as a lever, and I can press down on this, and I can actually bend my hopping foot towards the back, which will bring my needle closer to the front of the foot. If I needed to go the other way, I can go like this, bring the wrench across like this, and bend it. The foot is able to spin. But if I press this way, now on the wrench handle, I can bend the foot the other way. The wrench just gives you some leverage that you wouldn't otherwise have. Before you take the foot off, go ahead and put the needle back in and make sure that you're happy with your alignment, that it's centered. When you're happy, go ahead and take this back off again, because you've got to get your wrench off. Okay, so we're taking the foot off so we can get the wrench off of it. And so now I'm going to slide the wrench off, and the nut needs to be put back onto the top of the hopping foot. The new and improved hopping foot that's been reshaped. So go ahead and screw that nut back on all the way, and then the hopping foot with nut will be screwed back into place. Now the last thing to do is to set the position of the hopping foot. You'll screw it all the way in, and then you'll need to back it up so that it'll be centered on the needle. So I'm going to go ahead and put my needle back in. There's actually a really cool tool for centering. I don't have it for sale on my website right now, but I might add it so that you can purchase it easily at andrewsgammillnorthwest.com. So I'm going to center my foot here and then use the wrench to tighten the nut. Other way. I always go the wrong way. I think most people have had that experience. So you hold it in the right place and you just tighten the nut until the foot is right where you want it. Now, the last thing to check is you want to check the hopping foot height, because having bent it towards the front or towards the back, it will have slightly raised or slightly lowered the hopping foot. So there's instructions in your book on how to check the height. Basically what you do is you lower the needle all the way and make sure that when the hopping foot's at its lowest position that it's not striking the needle plate. Normally a distance between the two of 2 or 3 business cards is appropriate, but you will know if it's too low because it'll be striking, and you'll know if it's too high because you'll probably get skipped stitches when you quilt because of the fabric flopping. So that's the end of the video. If I do get a chance to add that really cool alignment and hopping foot height tool to my website, I will make a separate video on how to use that. Thank you so much, and happy quilting!